And we're back.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. This is Page to Screen and In Between
For now.
for now.
I'm Stacy, and this is my literary partner in crime, Renee. And
I'm waving for those that are listening and not
yeah,
seeing. I'm doing a
yeah,
bunch of waving.
we're
Yeah.
waiting. Yes, it's so
Yeah. So, Stacy, I hear that over the weekend you got to meet face to face my grandkids.
yes.
So
Oh my
tell me
gosh, it
about
was
it.
so much fun. I got to see them. They came here to visit my kids, and I just saw them for a little bit on Friday, and then we went out to dinner on Sunday with them. But here's what's so funny. They're just fantastic. They're so cute. So I had gotten them both a gift, and I got
Which
Wells.
I love, which I bet they loved
They
because they
did
do
well, and actually it was
love
from
language
Selma.
is gifts.
So
Okay.
Selma and I walked in, and she had the
Oh,
bag with the gifts, and she was so proud.
oh,
Here, so we got a squashmallow longhorn
okay. Oh
for
my gosh.
for
For
her, and
Texas.
she
Okay.
loved it. And then we got this little drone helicopter for
Oh,
Wells, and I included the batteries, and I thought, they'd be fun to play with at the Airbnb and around the pool and stuff. So gave it to him. Of course, he wanted to open it in the restaurant, and they said,
of
no,
course.
let's wait till we get everything. So they get to apparently, so then Sunday they all come in, and they're all just, I said, so how's the drone? And Wells kind of looks up, and Hillary goes, oh, you're not going to even believe this. So they got the drone, and it inside it kept just like going up to the ceiling and kind of like hitting the ceiling like they would do it, and it just wasn't,
They
so
wanted
they
to
were
go
like, let's
up,
take it
just straight up.
outside. Let's go outside with it. So they go out by the pool, and Hillary's doing it, and it goes up and up into the clouds, and it's gone. It's like, she was like, I was going, come back, come back. I said, because yelling at it, is going to make it come. She goes, I was doing everything. She goes, so we have no, like it's gone. It's in outer space. And I said, Wells, you asked me if it would go to the moon. And I said, maybe it was going to the moon.
Oh,
But it's
because they were
gone.
so into Artemis too, the two of them. I
Right.
mean, they watched it. They were glued to the TV. So that
So
is
I
so
told him it's
hysterical.
up at the moon. But Hillary goes, what in the world? Like, this thing is like, I mean, it was not an advanced drone. I mean, it was just this little helicopter thing. And she said, I saw it go up, and all of a sudden it disappears behind a cloud. And she's like, she goes, never came back. Like, it's gone. And I'm like,
Who knows? Somebody was like,
so there goes that.
eventually it'll run out of batteries and it'll find a new
Yeah, will
home.
eventually die and land in somebody's yard or something. But I mean, hilarious. Like,
The runaway drone. Oh my gosh, talk about it. Oh my gosh, that would be the funniest little children's story with the drone that keeps going up too high and it
well, it
hits,
kept hitting the ceiling.
and the drone has the adventures and the little kid has to run after it. The drone
Yes.
takes him into all these different little adventures. Oh my gosh, that is hysterical.
Oh,
And that is because I got them robots one time, and Wells's, for whatever reason, he must have some weird electrical energy, just kept, it would just turn in circles. Like Harvest had her little robot, going all over the floor and running
yeah.
around, and his was just spinning out the whole time. So,
Well, and it's so funny because we were at this restaurant, and we had given them their gifts, and then Harvest and Wells both go, Mom, Dad, did we get Selma anything? And Hillary goes, we're gonna. Thanks, Harvest. We're gonna. We'll get her something this week. Like, no.
sure, it's in the suitcase.
I said,
Yeah, we haven't unpacked it yet. We'll unpack it tomorrow. Oh, that is so fun.
And that kind of thing. But it was so, because
though, that's a grandmother's thought. Like, that's not, for them,
they were just
they would
trying
never
to
think
get
that
there.
because their kids have so many toys. It's like the last thing we're going to do is get more toys for somebody. And that's
Right.
really what you would get.
Right.
But that is so funny. I just love that you got to meet them, and they are the sweetest. They are wild, but they have the purest of heart. And even
They're so sweet.
Hillary's mother-in-law, Susan, always talks about how innocent they are,
They
even
are.
though, and it's so funny because Hillary and Bradley, they shelter them from nothing. Like those kids are not sheltered at all. And yet they are way more innocent than most kids that are.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
think it's because there's nothing that's taboo. And
Right.
so they
Right.
don't think to
Right.
be, anyway, it's really sweet. So I'm so glad you get to meet them and I'm
Yeah.
jealous. Talk about
And
that.
I told the girls about, I told the girl and Bradley and Mariel about our new, kind of concept, which my sister listened and said she loved the direction, like almost like a how to
Yes.
type thing, because I'm doing it and then you're kind of guiding. And so everybody loved it. Well, then Hillary and Hannah were like, hey, we should be on, we should be guests at some point. And I said, yeah, because then we can shame you, Hillary, for not ever reading any of your mother's books.
Oh, good.
She said that would be great. So we'll have to do it at night, but that would be fun to do.
Oh, we can record. That's fine. We'll record and then go live.
Wouldn't that be fun to have
Well,
them
you
on?
and I had talked about having them as guests. So it's so funny. So we will, because, to our myriad of listeners, maybe one or two,
Yeah.
we're going to get more, but they would absolutely find it hysterical, like our whole history through our daughters.
Right.
And then, beyond all of that.
It's still so strong. I mean, it's just.
Yes, for them as well. And all of us living somewhere else. So I find that it's just such a testament to the way that we live now in America, the culture, but also maintaining friendships regardless of proximity.
Right.
And so I love that as well.
Yeah.
So on that note, since we're taking this big pivot, and we talked about last time how we needed to maybe come up with page to screen and in between just isn't going to work anymore, the title. Right. So I was like, okay. And now, mind you, it's like 11 o'clock last night. So don't think that I've been spending a lot of time on this. But I was like, I have got some ideas. And they just started flowing. And full disclosure, I am a terrible titler. Whenever I would send a book into my editor, I would send her 20 ideas and she reject them all and tell me to send more and reject them all. And then she'd come up with this weird off the blue idea that became the title. Yeah. So full disclaimer, but here's my first one that I thought, The Draft Queens.
Okay.
Ink happens. Write this down.
I-N-K.
I-N-K. Ink happens.
Okay.
Ladies who plot instead of ladies who lunch. I have notes.
Okay.
Good on paper. Spill the ink, instead of spill the tea.
Yeah.
She said plot. And then pages between friends.
Okay. All right.
So,
let's see. So some of I think the ones that you have to explain
are not the ones we want.
Right? Because we're not going to be there to explain it.
Right. But also visually.
Lunch,
so
I didn't know that was a thing, and you'd have to explain it.
Which one?
You said ladies who do page? No.
Ladies who plot. Ladies who lunch is like this big. Yeah, but if I have to explain it, then that's not right. So ladies who plot isn't going to work. My favorite are Spill the Ink or Good on Paper, because you know how things sound good on paper, or I have notes, or instead of, or she said plot. Like I feel as though, write this down, pages between friends, so this is where my mind was going.
I like pages between friends because it kind of stays with our page title. It doesn't go too far off of the title. Not that matters. We can, that's fine. Pages between friends. I kind of like that one.
So I had it done, so I can go back. And let me see where my little list is, because some of them were just so crazy. I was just, okay. And then I thought co-write chronicles, the Chronicles. Write on. So
Well,
RIT.
that's one of your taglines, right?
Yeah, right on.
Right on.
Just right. Oh, this one, Write Me Back. No, this one that I kind of liked, it was one of my very first ones. Let's see. No, I'm way off. Women Who Write, which is just very straightforward. Women Who Write.
Yeah. I
Write
like
Like a Woman. I liked Write Like a Woman or Write Like a Girl. Booked and Busy. Buy the Book. And then Shelf Life. So
I still
off
do
the
that.
shelf.
I like pages between friends. I kind of like
Yeah.
that one.
Pages Between Friends, because I feel like that's really what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or the something with
But writing, I like the writing too. I like the just right. Just write it. Just write it.
Yep.
Or just write. Just right
Just
is
Right.
okay. I like just
Just
right. I do like that one
because it's like that's just right. Or just RITE, which is
right.
just right.
And a lot of times, I mean, everybody I've ever read that is doing any type of instruction
Just
about
put your
writing,
yes.
they're like, the number one thing is write.
You just have to
Stop
write.
trying
Yep.
to do like just
Butt
sit down
and chair,
and
right.
write. Yeah.
Yep. Butt and chair, right. You know, that's what they always say. Put your butt in the chair and write. So
I do like just right. Just right.
It's just right. And what I can do, okay, so maybe let's narrow it down to two. We like the Pages Between Friends and just right. And what I can do is kind of like I did with our intro here, is play around with it. I don't know that we need to change our logo other than just the words. I like our logo because it's a podcast. Yeah. But I feel as though the intro, you know, where it was a movie and the screen and all of that, that maybe with the just right and Pages Between Friends.
Pages like fluttering.
Right.
Or,
just right. So do more book
writing.
Instead of movie, more of a book intro.
Listen to me. Like that'd be so easy for you to just do that, you know, whatever.
Well, it'll be easier this time around because I obviously
you know what you're doing now.
Yes, it only took me days the first time. This may only take hours. You know, who knows? But I like that that we're going in a different direction. I did like Draft Queens, but I feel like that we're not queen. We don't consider ourselves queens. We're not that kind of people.
No. Or divas, draft divas. I don't
draft divas
have that aura. We're more plain gal or down to earth gals, friends. That's why I think Pages Between Friends.
Pages Between Friends and just right. We, you know, really what we're trying to do is just get it down to let's just write this thing. Let's just talk just right. It's just right when you finally get it. And let me tell you, for me, and I'll tell you the process for me is first draft is I would never show anyone. Someone's like, send me your first draft. And I'm like, oh, heck no. It takes me sometimes 10 tries to get a chapter correct.
I know. I sent my first draft of my dad's book, and it's only 80 pages, so it's not long right now, you know, right? To my sister, and I hated it. She was kind. She's my sister, but I hated it. I'm like, she read it. She goes, I really like your style. You are a little too honest with some of the stuff. You might have to change some names. You might have to change some, you know, situation. And I'm like, okay, so isn't a memoir honest? But change some names to protect the innocent. I don't know, but
that's what my father wanted me to write his book. And he had such a volatile relationship with his brother. I called it Not My Brother's Keeper, or My Brother's Keeper. And and it was just, I'm glad he's not around, and I would never publish it now, going through all the stories. And the stories that he told me were so his side of the story.
Right. And these are my side.
Right. So you have to remember, it's just like my sister and I have a twin sister and we lived supposedly the exact same life. And what she remembers, what I remember, how she remembers it, how I remember it, it's like we
Yes.
live two different worlds. It's like
Yes.
we were born in two different families.
Which is a good segue to
Okay.
to
Let's just talk to the book.
our book, because
Okay.
I had an idea that as this goes along, there could be little hints that they may have known each other from the past, or they had been
Mm.
sisters, or they had been somehow they had
But that would be the twist
at the end.
at the end or close to the end before the
Right,
climax, like
right,
before that black moment.
right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. I
But
like
there
that.
would be little hints of the way they move the same, or the way they did things, but the same but different.
Or
Anyway,
maybe they have a phrase that they say at the same time, something like that that
yeah,
came from,
yeah.
yes, from
Or
before.
like
I mean,
they
you
know they're
can,
sisters, but we
but the
don't
reader
know.
doesn't.
Right.
Right. And we as writers would filter that stuff in. It would be more than one. It would happen. And you
All the
wouldn't want to
time.
heavy hand it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it would be something, yes. And that's the other thing. Like when you have these ideas writing books, first draft, you can heavy hand it, like your sister was saying, oh, you're a little bit too
Yeah.
honest. But then you go back, and that's what editing is for. I always say when you write the book, you just spew it out. Just we call it
Yeah.
the dirty first draft. Just spew it out.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
Then you write the book and you start back and start writing the book. So
Yeah.
right
That's what Anne
now,
Lamott calls it, the shitty first draft. But yeah.
yep, yep. And I call it the dirty first draft
SFD.
in
Yeah.
case our grandkids are listening.
Yeah.
Those innocent little babies.
Yeah, your babies. But going back to the assignment for me from you last week was the goal. Like
Right. What are
what
the
do they
goals?
want? What is the goal? And well, first of all, Claire has
Wait, let's
changed.
take a step back.
Okay.
Let's take a quick step back.
Okay.
What tone do you want for this book? Are you thinking domestic thriller, or are you thinking women's fiction, which is more of a journey of two women? So we don't have to decide that now, but I want that in the back of your mind, because before you start writing, you're going to want to sort of nail that tone down, or at least that's going to be part of your goal. So if, like last week, we talked about secrets, I think if that's where we're going, is it going to be more of a thriller? We don't know what's going on. Like I just read a Cale Slater book where it wasn't a murder mystery, but it was very much of a thriller. Like they're bad people and you didn't know how it was going to end. There were twists the whole way. So it could be one of those thrillers without a murder, or
I've never really written one like that. Have you?
No. Well, I would say my
Does
World
that
War
excite
II
you?
books have that thriller feel
Yeah.
because it's war,
Yeah.
that high tension thriller feel. And I wrote, I think, 2 romantic thrillers, which were more heavy on the romance, lighter on the
The
thriller
Spies.
suspense.
My book.
Yes.
I call it my book because
Yeah. Yes. My daughter has several books that she will never read, but yes, that are
She's
dedicated
going
to
to.
her.
I'm going to make her.
Okay, good.
You have to at least read a book that's dedicated to you or your children. I mean,
At this point, I mean, come on. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about. So just keep that in mind. We don't have to decide it today. So let's go back to goals,
okay.
because that may help inform your tone.
Well, it might. So the goal for Claire, and Claire has changed her name.
So is Claire the wealthy
The rich
one?
one. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
She changed her name because her name was Betty, or some old, Nancy Betty, and it was
Audrey. Yeah, something.
something more not rich, right? And her husband's name's Blake.
or even Susan, like something that was
Susan
just
or yeah, Susan or
something that was just a very common name when she was young.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because neither one of us have those common names because you were Stacy with an I, I'm Renee.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of Renees in my
Mm-mm.
classes
No.
or
Or
Stacy's. Yeah.
Robin's. I mean,
Or
I think
Robin.
I have
Yeah, my
another friend
sister.
that's Robin, and it's
Very
already,
odd.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very different
Okay,
name.
so her name, she's changed her name to
But
Claire.
I think her goal is
Okay.
to have connection, to have the family that she's trying to show the world, and to fill a void. Those are some of
Okay.
my ideas. I'm not saying all of those. I'm just
So
saying,
those are still internal. So this is the hardest part about writing a book.
okay,
Those are internal. Those are, I want purpose, which
okay,
is fine. But we need something specific, concrete. And oftentimes with a ticking clock, so there's this deadline. So think in terms of high stakes, like what is she going to run out of time and what will be disastrous if she doesn't get this goal? So so what you're doing right now is very good because those are what I would call her motivations.
okay,
Those are her motivating goals. Those are the
okay.
goals that are driving her to seek something else. So does she want to be awarded Woman of the Year? Or does she, you see what I'm saying? Like, is there
Yeah,
some sort of prestigious something that will then tell at the world, I have made it? Does she, you see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Does she want to be president of Garden Club? I don't know. Like if we're building this world and we figure out what city she's in, what in her world would be considered you have made it. And it needs to be a goal that she has to either campaign for, she has to earn, that will then give her all of that, all the feels, all the fulfillment that she's looking for.
So yeah, so that could be, she could be this is the president of the board of this shelter, and
Hmm.
she wants to be recognized
Okay.
at a, you know, as the best board president in the city, because I
Okay.
that actually happened to me. Um, yeah, I beat out Connie Duncan, which I was
Oh
really,
my gosh.
I know.
Okay. Big deal.
So yeah, even though I had no idea it was happening,
And that was never your goal,
it was never
but
my goal because I didn't even know it existed. I
right.
didn't know that the whole thing existed until the executive director said, "Oh, by the way, I nominated you for this thing and you won." And I was like, "Oh, what is it?" I didn't even know what it was, but we could switch
Okay.
it. So it's a very prestigious thing that a lot
In a
of the
bigger
women,
city, and it would bring with it, she gets into the club or she gets to lord it over her enemy. There's always that
yeah,
one person that will always, one up her all the time. Which, if you want it to be a little more thriller-esque, or you want it to be a little, even if it's straight women's fiction, her secrets will jeopardize that
right,
for her
her
if
past,
they come out.
yeah,
So I feel like that's a good start. I don't know that think about this. If you were reading the back of a book cover, would that be a person you wanted to root for? So
mm,
think about that as a reader.
yeah,
So think
yeah,
about that. So we don't have to nail any of this down, but I want you to be thinking, and I'll start thinking as well. Is that a goal that you want? I think it's a great start, and I think now we kind of know, why does she want it? What will it give her? Will her husband? If she gets it, does her husband get that promotion he's waiting for, or
or is he against it because
is
it's
he
going
against it?
to? Is he against it? Is he trying to sabotage it because it's going to come out that he's stealing money?
Right. That means that, right. So,
So
or
his
is she stealing money in order to, so there's a lot of ways we can go there.
yeah,
So kind of put that, I think that's a great start.
okay,
So,
okay,
yeah, give her that concrete, I have to get this. And at the ticking time clock is by time they award the award, give
yeah,
out the award or
yeah,
announce the winner. So you've got an inherent ticking time clock. So she's on go, ready, set, go. So the
Right. Like
rest of her
it's
book,
January and the award is given in December. And
correct.
so
So she's
what
got a
happens
year,
that year?
right?
And
And
that
so
could
think
be
about,
the whole
right.
thing, the death, the mystery. I mean, yeah, I don't know. The thriller sounds more interesting to me than just a straight friend
I
fiction.
think so too. And I think as a reader, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
So, or it happens as, right. So as these secrets are being revealed throughout the book, that sets her back. In other words, you want her heading toward the goal and she gets set back, she gets set back, she gets set back. And it could be as secrets are revealed, it could be as the secret is revealed to the reader and someone else, and she's back to burying it. So
Yes.
you can keep that. So I think that's a really good start. But just keep constantly in your mind, is this a woman I want to follow through a journey?
Right.
And a wealthy, or is she the second to the other character? And let's talk about the other character now.
Well, okay. So then my idea, I'm just thinking, if instead of having the two husbands, could the husband have two families?
Okay.
And it happens, he's got the one that's like this outer family that's showy and rich and everything. And then he's got this other one that's he kind of keeps that he really loves.
My uncle did that for years.
and they're not as rich.
Okay, welcome to the South. My uncle did that. He had the very wealthy, they lived on the river. We all went to the private schools. And then I think he had this mistress or whatever, girlfriend, whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
for 20 something years and had a child with her and took care of that family as well. And they knew everything about that family, but the wealthy family, my aunt, knew nothing about that. And my aunt was president of the garden club. My aunt was very much what you're talking about for Claire. The difference with my aunt was she was very unassuming, but we could absolutely tweak that. But my uncle did that. And when it came out, it destroyed the family. And my cousins to this day are like, our whole lives were lies. Our whole life was a lie. And then my aunt ended up dying of breast cancer 2 years later after it all came out because of the stress and just not willing to fight it anymore. She was just that shocked and beaten down. And it was just tragic. But yes, that is absolutely.
So instead of having two husbands, we have the one man.
Two families.
And two families. And then they end up like, so he dies. And that's when it all starts to unravel. But we can tell.
Well, and then the wife of the second wife, the cookie on the side, so to speak.
Right.
Her goal is to infiltrate this woman's life and find out and she's got the big bombshell that she's ready to
and he's
expose. But he's left her with like an NDA and all kinds of, this would be more of a modern story than mine happened in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where,
oh my gosh.
And if she did reveal it, so she's trying to insert herself into this woman's life, but we don't even have to know why at first.
We don't have to know why. And then, I mean, wouldn't it be something if it did come out that they were like identical, or not identical twins, but sisters or twins. And then that's why he was attracted to both of them. And that was I mean, I don't know.
You can have it come out toward the end that this Claire knew about her all the time. I mean, you could do that. And that is why, yes. So
she wanted to be more and more and more.
And then it could even be, I mean, depending on how sinister you want to make it, they actually were working together the whole time to get rid of him. Maybe he's not dead at the beginning. Maybe he's somewhat like Pretty Little Liars.
I also thought
Pretty Little Lies.
Part I was like, did they
Big Little Lie
to kill their parents? I had it that their parents were missionaries, but it's the collateral damage of missionaries sometimes is these kids that didn't ask to be in the mission field.
Yeah, because you remember the one missionary family and the lady was chronically late And I
Yeah,
remember the little
Diane Brown.
daughter.
Browns.
Yes. And that little daughter was just constantly waiting for her mother to pick her up. She was always the last at the church. And I
And
was
very,
just like,
very sweet, but yeah.
and I remember she was in Bible studies with us and she was like, I just can't. I try so hard. And I'm thinking, do you have any idea? Because I remember being there waiting with the daughter, what you were doing to this daughter,
Yeah.
the anxiety and the pain. And because her parents were missionaries, they were golden in the church. Remember that?
Right.
They were
Right.
just, they were gold plated. And,
Yeah.
but it was a veneer because it was such a dysfunctional little family. And I remember the mother just could not put those kids first. And I just remember thinking, you have, what was it, 3 kids? They have 2 or 3?
Two.
2. But I remember the daughter was our daughter's age. And so
Yeah.
we were seeing it from that perspective. And I had a mother that was always late and it would just, you know,
Yeah.
I would just swallow it. So we have a lot of personal fodder that we could throw into
and
this.
we could, and yeah, and they could, you know, they could have plotted somehow to have this tribe kill their parents or whatever. You know, you want to, and then they got out as teenagers, but then they went
Which
their
is,
separate ways.
you know, and this goes back to, yes, because we're out of time.
I know.
So
this went so
we're
fast.
so good at talking, but this could go back to what they say, write what you know. And I say that's kind of true, but we really need to write who we are. So we need to dig into all those emotions of watching these if we choose that direction. Me watching those missionaries, the way that their kids were so secondary in their life, and being able to write that piece.
Yeah.
Yes, the collateral damage, and knowing me, having lived it personally in a whole different world, being able to add that into that character. So just be thinking as we go on. I will work on titling and show intro. You keep working on goals and this plot, and then we'll come back.
I'm just going to write. I'm just going to write. Just write. A half an hour a day. I'm just going to write, and I'm going to try to get some of these things that we've talked about.
Okay.
And I'm just going
to
just some thought, and see what kind of tone comes out. So my next thing can be the tone.
That's good.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's also, before we end, you could always twist it and turn this into, instead of almost like, there was that movie that made fun of thrillers, and with that Clive Owen.
Like a satire kind of.
Yes, like a satire. So it could be a satire too, if we want to go that direction, where it's more of a black comedy. Okay. So nothing is off the table at this point. Okay. So last word. You said you had any last words?
I have 2 to choose from. I think I'm going to pick the second one. Forgetfulness. Okay. So I've been doing the Substack. Is it Substack?
Yep. Substack. Yep. Substack.
And it seems like there's themes of a lot, like the things I'm following, the things I'm interested in. There's a theme all the time. Like they keep kind of reiterating things. And I'm like, okay, you kind of said that yesterday, or you said that on your last one. But I'm like, I think it takes an act of will to keep remembering. So like many are saying the same things over and over and over again, but then we still forget and fall back into our unhealthy habits.
So it's like we have to keep relearning the same lesson over and over.
Whether it's a physical habit or an emotional, relational, it's the remembering. And I had said somewhere I had written, I think God puts a forgetfulness about him in us so that we choose to remember.
Seeking, yes, constantly seeking.
So like it's not just something he just put in there and we just always remember him. He wants us to choose to remember, so we forget. So forgetfulness is something I think that's in us, that if we keep working at, we just keep going every day.
It's protective, in some ways it's protective. So if you had trauma as a child, it's healthy to forget a lot of it.
Yes.
So that part of it is actually a good thing. Yeah. But then what you're talking about is, it's a bad thing to keep forgetting that. So we do have to consciously
remembering. So
yes, add that effort. It's like intentional, going through life intentional, with intentionality.
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
So,
all right. So let's be intentional the rest of the week.
okay.
And you're going to work on your writing. I am going to work on, we're going to either just write or pages between friends and go forward with those.
Okay.
And I guess we'll see. Are we doing this next week or do we need to skip?
I think so. I think if we do it, I'm finding my phone. I think if we do it every week, I like this every week.
Yeah.
I think we're good at this stuff. So next week is the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So we'll do it again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Okay. Well,
all right. Well, let's end this stream, and there we go. Well, we're getting better than 40.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.